In this video, we're discussing Pleasure Island, Carolina Beach, Kure Beach, Fort Fisher, and all of the things that you need to know before moving to the island. Let's go. What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning into the channel. I'm Avery. I'm with the Legacy Group at eXp Realty, and as much as I love making these videos for you guys about all things living in southeastern North Carolina, I would love even more to help you with your real estate needs. So phone number and email address popping up on the screen. I am the one that responds to all calls, texts, and emails, and I would absolutely love to have a conversation with you and see how we can best help. But with that being said, guys, and out of the way, today we're discussing Carolina Beach, Kure Beach, and Fort Fisher, which is the very tip of the island. And both Carolina Beach and Kure Beach are right next to each other. They are sister towns. However, they have very different feelings, but they do share a lot of the same benefits. So with that said, let's discuss what you need to know before moving to Pleasure Island. And so first things first, if we're gonna put on a map how to get to the airport, how to get to the hospital, and things like that, right? We're gonna put a pin right on the boardwalk in Carolina Beach. And so from the boardwalk to Wilmington International Airport, it's about 45 minutes to drive. And then to get to New Hanover Regional Medical Center, it's about 25 to 30 minute drive from the boardwalk. However, to get to all of your grocery shopping, your stores, your doctor's offices, all of that stuff, you can be within a 10 to 15 minute drive to get to all of those things that you need on a daily or weekly basis. And so if you are in business and you fly a lot, 45 minutes to the airport, is that too long or is that just right? At the end of the day, it is a straight shot to the airport, so it's not a difficult drive, but it is 45 minutes. Now, if you have some medical episodes where you require an emergency department or the big hospital on a daily basis, or something like that where you need it right at your back door, then Carolina Beach, Kure Beach is probably not going to be that area because it is 25 to 30 minute drive to the big hospital here in Wilmington. But for most people, that drive is not the end of the world. And so Carolina Beach and Kure Beach are actually good locations. And then things to do around Carolina Beach or Kure Beach are a pretty simple drive as well. You're looking at about 20 to 25 minutes if you wanted to go up to Mayfair, which is in the Ogden area, or get to Wrightsville Beach, for example. And then it's about 25 minutes or so to downtown Wilmington, which has the river walk and all of the restaurants and the bars and such downtown. But otherwise, very simple drives, regardless of where you want to go. It is a very quick and easy commute to get around Wilmington. Now, with that said, there is one main artery that comes down into Carolina Beach and Kure Beach, and that's 421. And during peak season, right now, tourist season, 421 can certainly get backed up, especially right at the boardwalk in Carolina Beach. And so when we have tourists coming and going, it does get very busy. And today is Juneteenth, and there are a lot of people coming and going for the 4-day weekend. And so I've been on pretty much all of the Wilmington beaches at this point today. We're in the afternoon at this point, about 3:30. And I can tell you they are all busy. Traffic is backed up on all of the islands. And that's just the way that it goes on holidays or in, just tourist season in general. So something to think about if you want to live in Carolina Beach or Kure Beach or Wrightsville or Topsail for that matter, any beach in the area, it is gonna get backed up during peak season. However, on the island, there are other streets that you can cut off into so that you don't have to be stuck on 421 and you can get to your home without being stuck. You just have to learn those routes as you kind of learn the area. I always say, as a local, you learn what part of the beach you want to go to, you learn what restaurants you want to go to and what path to drive. And so as you become a local and you live here longer and longer, you are going to find your way around a little bit better, and your commute is going to be a little bit easier during peak season. But regardless of which way, it's gonna suck just a little bit more from your day-to-day on the off season. Now, before I move on, I should mention that Carolina Beach and Kure Beach are right next to each other. It takes minutes to get to Carolina Beach from Kure Beach or vice versa. And a lot of times people will just refer to it as Pleasure Island because the towns are so close, in a lot of ways only separated by minutes. And then at the very end of the island, you have Fort Fisher, which is a military museum. And then you have the Fort Fisher Aquarium as well, which is a North Carolina State Aquarium. Really cool. I take my daughter about once a month to the aquarium, which I actually hear this summer they're gonna be shutting down for renovations. And so with that out of the way, some of the things to do around the area are restaurants, shopping, souvenir shopping, boardwalk, obviously the beach, and then boat charters, boat rentals, and boating if you have a boat. You can get a dock, you can get a boat slip, and it's a boater's paradise around here. Because not only can you go up through the Sound and the Intercoastal, but you can get into the Cape Fear River and go up or down the Cape Fear River as well. But Carolina Beach is the main beach town that has the storefronts, it has the restaurants, the bars, it has the Ferris wheel and the rides. They do fireworks every Thursday night. And so you get that if you live in Carolina Beach. However, there's a bit of a hack, because if you live in Kure Beach, you can see all of the same stuff from Kure Beach. Like I said, it's only a minute drive, 2-minute drive. And if you have a golf cart, you can zip right down to Carolina Beach and enjoy all of the same amenities. And so with regard to buying a home and being close to everything that Carolina Beach has to offer, it really doesn't matter if you are in Carolina Beach or Kure Beach. Because you're so close, it feels like you're in the same area anyway. But really the main difference that I find with a lot of clients is that Carolina Beach just feels different than Kure Beach. Carolina Beach has a ton of multi-family homes, apartment buildings, condo complexes, that kind of thing. It feels very vacation-esque, if that makes sense. It has that vacationer's vibe. So if you're buying a home that's gonna be a vacation house for you, or maybe it's a second property and that you're gonna be living at, maybe 6 months out of the year or whatever, you are gonna feel like your neighbor is a vacationer and not someone that is a resident of Carolina Beach. Whereas Kure Beach is a little bit more residential. You feel like your neighbors may be your neighbor forever, right? You feel like they may live there for the entirety of the year. In reality, Kure Beach is a rental market as well and vacation hub as well. However, it just feels more residential. It feels more neighborhoodish, more homey in Kure Beach. And you have a 35-foot height restriction on homes in Kure Beach. So what that means is there's no high rises. There's no condo buildings that take up your views of the ocean and the waterfront like Carolina Beach. So Kure Beach definitely feels a little bit more suburban than Carolina Beach. And so if you're looking at, an investment property where you're gonna make money from it and get some cash flow going, Carolina Beach and Kure Beach are about equal in that regard. And so you can kind of pick and choose. But a lot of people, if they're looking to make this their part-time residence, maybe it's their vacation home or just place that they're gonna stay for a while, or maybe it's a full-time home, Kure Beach tends to be a little bit more suited for that kind of thing. And so that's something that you're gonna wanna think about if you are making a move to the area. Carolina Beach, there's a couple neighborhoods and stuff, but the majority of it feels a little bit more vacation friendly, whereas Kure Beach feels a little bit more homey. But with that, if you want to go to a restaurant, whether it's a high-end restaurant, seafood restaurant, a burger shack, whatever have you, and you live in Kure Beach, you are gonna take the golf cart down to Carolina Beach to go eat. There's bars, there's some smaller restaurants and such on Kure Beach, and very popular restaurants on Kure Beach. But for the majority of it, you're gonna wanna go to Carolina Beach because Carolina Beach is that area where there's more happening. But in terms of beach access and just water availability in the area, Kure Beach is probably gonna be the better place to go because it's not as busy with tourists and vacationers. And it's certainly not as noisy and party-ish like Carolina Beach is. So Kure Beach tends to be a little bit more family friendly with young kids and that kind of thing than Carolina Beach, but Carolina Beach is certainly a fun atmosphere if that's what you're looking for. But then one area we haven't really talked about yet is Freeman Park. Freeman Park is on the northern end of Carolina Beach, and this is the 4x4 beach. So you can drive your 4x4 onto Freeman Park, and you can have a picnic out there, you can camp out there, but you can enjoy the beach from your truck, from your Jeep, or whatever it is, and enjoy that. People are blaring their music and partying, having a good time, setting up cornhole. It's literally like a campground on the beach. It can't be any cooler than that. So if that's something you're interested in as well, that is on the northern side of Carolina Beach. But now moving on to homes and home prices and real estate. So Carolina Beach, you're gonna find much more of your multifamily homes. Whereas Kure Beach, you're gonna find much more single family homes. And the median price point in both Carolina and Kure Beach is mid 700,000s. However, if you're looking for waterfront property, you're over $1.5 million just for the land that it sits on. I was analyzing a property the other day for one of my clients on Kure Beach, and the house is listed at $1.65 million. And based on what I was looking at and the lot and the waterfront, the lot itself is worth $1.5 million. And so that gives a valuation of the house, the structure itself, of about $100,000. And so what a lot of people are doing on the waterfront with some of these shacks where the land is worth more than the house is they're buying the shack, they're buying the lot, and they're demolishing the house and they're building up new. And so what better way to increase your equity, increase your value from $1.65 million to about $3, $4, $5 million, depending on what you build on the waterfront. So you're seeing that a lot in these areas of a lot of these smaller homes, these older homes, these shacks kind of being torn down and then rebuilt into a magnificent waterfront property, maybe with a pool and things like that. So something to think about. But overall, the median home price is mid 700s, but to get on the water for a single family home, you're gonna be over 1.5. And then if you are looking for a condo, you're gonna be right at that $1 million mark, maybe a little bit over, to be on the waterfront. But once again, there is a big difference in the styles of homes from Carolina Beach to Kure Beach. Like I said, Carolina Beach, you have a lot of the multifamily condo type homes, whereas Kure Beach is more of your single family homes. But you do have a good mix between older properties and new properties. And I think I've said this before, but older properties here in North Carolina, at least coastal North Carolina, really anything older than 2010. A new property is anything basically 2020 and newer. And then you have brand new construction, which is currently being built. But you do have some 2010 and older homes that are beautiful homes, but may or may not be taken down in the future and rebuilt with new construction. So something to think about if you're looking for real estate on the island. Pleasure Island has a bunch of different styles of real estate. Everything from beachy homes on piers to regular houses on a slab that are kind of further inland. But yes, we have it all here and there's plenty to choose from. We have a good amount of inventory right now on Pleasure Island. So if you're looking for real estate here, more than happy to help you, but there is plenty of opportunity. But all right, guys, this was a quick down and dirty video about Carolina and Kure Beach and Pleasure Island as a whole. If you got something out of this video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you find it helpful, because you'll find a lot more videos like this about the southeastern North Carolina region. And if you are looking to make a move, I would love to hear from you. The phone number and email address on the screen, that is the best way to get in contact with me. And I would love to have a conversation and see how I can best help. But until next video, guys, peace. See you later. Bye.